The simple question that isn't simple: why does water freeze? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. Because it gets cold. But that answer doesn't really explain anything. Cold compared to what? What is freezing? Why 0 degrees Celsius? Why ice forms a crystal instead of turning into something else? No. Just the beginning. Great. And terrible. Army crystal. Why does ice float? Why does freezing release heat? Why does life depend on this? When Richard Feynman was asked simple questions, he refused shallow answers. He believed that behind everyday phenomena lie layers of astonishing physics, and that true understanding means going all the way down. So, let's go from A to Z. No skipping. No skipping. He meant terrible army. He believed that behind everyday phenomena lie layers of astonishing physics, and that true understanding means going all the way down. So let's go from A to Z. No. A6. Down. No shortcuts. And by the end, your sense of solid and liquid may never feel the same again. 2. First, what is water, really? For water is not wet stuff. Water is a molecule. HO. That means 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen atom. But here's the first reality shift. The molecule is not straight. It's bent. The angle between hydrogen atoms is about 104.5. Why does that matter? Because shape determines everything. 3. Polarity. The hidden force oxygen is greedy for electrons. So when they bond, oxygen pulls shared electrons closer. Oxygen becomes slightly negative delta. Hydrogens become slightly positive delta. Plus, closing parenthesis, this makes water a polar molecule. That means it has a tiny electrical imbalance. And that imbalance is the reason water freezes the way it does. 4. Hydrogen bonds. The real star of the show 4 because water molecules are polar. The positive hydrogen of one molecule is attracted to the negative oxygen of another. This attraction is called a hydrogen bond. Important. It is weaker than a covalent bond, but much stronger than ordinary molecular attraction. Each water molecule can form up to 4 hydrogen bonds. This creates a constantly shifting network. 5. Liquid water, liquid water. Molecules move rapidly. Hydrogen bonds constantly break and reform. The structure is dynamic. Water at room temperature is not random chaos. It is structured fluidity. There is order, but temporary order. 6. What does cold really mean? Temperature is not a substance. Temperature measures average kinetic energy. When water cools, molecules move slower. They vibrate less. They rotate less. They translate less. Nothing adds cold. Energy is removed. And when enough energy is removed, the molecules can no longer escape hydrogen bonding patterns. 7. The moment of freezing 4 at 0 degrees Celsius under normal pressure. Something profound happens. Water molecules settle into a stable hydrogen bond network. They arrange into a hexagonal crystal lattice. This structure maximizes hydrogen bonding, locks molecules into place between them. This open structure is why ice is less dense. 8. Why ice floats, and why that saved life. I can command. I can command. I can command. Just this. Just this. Just the beginning. Great. 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 End. Terrible. Most solids are denser than their liquids. Water is different. Ice has more empty space due to its hexagonal arrangement. So, ice floats. If ice sank, lakes would freeze from bottom up. Oceans would solidify. Life might never have evolved. The freezing of water-shaped biology. 9. Freezing releases heat weight. What? When water freezes, it releases energy. This is called latent heat of fusion. Why? Because forming hydrogen bonds lowers potential energy. When bonds form, just that, God, great, terrible. Energy must go somewhere, so it flows into surroundings as heat. Freezing warms its environment. This is not intuitive, but it's real. 10. The quantum layer. Now we go deeper. Why do hydrogen bonds exist at all? Because of electron probability clouds, quantum mechanical wave functions, Coulombic attraction, Pauli exclusion, principal atoms are not solid spheres. They are fuzzy probability distributions. Water freezes because quantum mechanics makes certain. Great, and terrible. Great and terrible army and terrible army are not solid spheres. They are not solid spheres. They are fuzzy probability distributions. Water freezes because contributions. Water freezes because quantum mechanics makes certain mechanics, certain arrangements, energetically favorable. Ice is a quantum decision. A collective Precision freezing is not one molecule deciding to stop. It's a collective phenomenon. One cluster forms, then it grows. This is called nucleation. Once a stable crystal nucleus forms, a spict, a nucleolysis, it spreads like an idea, like a social movement. Physics and sociology strangely mirror each other here. 12. Why exactly 0 degrees Celsius? Below 0 degrees Celsius, solid phase has lower free energy. Above 0 degrees Celsius, liquid phase has lower free energy. The system always moves toward lowest free energy. Freezing happens when solid water becomes thermodynamically favorable. Change the pressure. Above 0 degrees Celsius, liquid phase Celsius. Liquid phase has lower free energy. Liquid phase has lower free energy. The system always moves toward lowest free energy. Freezing happens when solid water becomes thermodynamically favorable. Change the pressure. Change the pressure. Praises. Sloss. 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 The freezing point shifts. Water's phase diagram is weird and beautiful. 13. Feynman's way of seeing it, for Richard Feynman believed in asking, what is really going on? His explanation style would go like this. Water freezes because molecules prefer lower energy arrangement when they move slowly enough. But behind that, electromagnetic forces. Behind that, quantum electrodynamics. Behind that, we don't know. 14. Reality shift number 1, solidity, is an illusion ice. But atoms in ice are mostly empty space, are vibrating constantly, never actually touch. What feels solid is electromagnetic repulsion. You are not touching the ice. Your electrons is electrons. 15. Reality shift number 2. Everything is motion even in ice at absolute 0. In theory, quantum motion remains. Perfect stillness is impossible. Freezing is not stopping. It is constrained. Freezing as emergence water. Freezing is an emergent phenomenon from simple rules. Charge attraction, energy minimization, statistical. Mechanics complex structure emerges. Snowflakes are unique, yet obey identical laws. 17. The paradox of order cooling creates order. But the second law of thermodynamics says entropy increases. Contradiction. No. Water freezing decreases. Entropy. Locally. But increases entropy of surroundings more. Total entropy rises. Order is paid for. 18. Supercooling. When water refuses to freeze water, can cool below 0 degrees Celsius, then remain liquid, then instantly crystallize. This shows freezing is probabilistic. Nature waits for a trigger. 19. Hydrogen bond network geometry. What bonds, tetrahedral bonds. But in ice, only for stable bonds exist. This creates rigidity, symmetry, hexagonal patterns. The geometry determines macroscopic reality. Crane. Nah. 20. Energy landscape. Liquid water equals rolling hills. Ice equals deep valley. When temperature drops, molecules settle into the deepest valley available. Freezing is falling into a deeper energetic basin. 21. Ice has many forms. It is not just one structure. There are many crystalline phases. Ice, ice, common, ice, ice 2, ice 3, ice 6, ice V, I under. High pressure. I under. High pressure. Water is stranger than most substances. 22. Cosmic perspective in space. Ice forms on comets. Ice exists on moons like Europa. Interstellar ice contains organic molecules. Water freezing is a cosmic process, not just kitchen physics. 23. The deepest layer. Why do electromagnetic forces exist? Why do electrons behave quantum mechanically? I will comment just tentum. Jahas, Feynman would say, I don't know why nature is the way it is, but we can describe it, and the description is beautiful. 24. So why does water freeze? Complete answer. Water freezes because when thermal energy decreases sufficiently, hydrogen bonding interactions between polar HO molecules organize into a stable crystalline lattice that minimizes free energy under given pressure conditions, releasing latent heat and producing a lower entropy local structure consistent with overall thermodynamic laws. That's the physics answer. 25. The philosophical answer: water freezes because energy flows, forces balance, probabilities shift, patterns emerge, and from microscopic quantum rules comes the macroscopic solidity of ice. Final reality check: ice is empty space, vibrating atoms, quantum fields, statistical averages, emergent order, yet you hold it in your hand. That is the miracle. If you'd like, I can next turn this into an even deeper 10,000-word ultra-detailed physics breakdown, or rewrite it as a cinematic storytelling essay, or explain it in simple Bengali, or go into pure quantum electrodynamics level tell me which direction you want. I might be ancient, not. I will be like gay. Just